Hello everyone, welcome back to another Balance Live video. This one's a bit of an impromptu one. I say impromptu, prompted a little bit by a good friend of mine, some of you know Simon, who has decided to enter the Green Man Ultra, which is a 45-mile run around the whole loop of Bristol on a big path called the Community Forest Path. A little bit bonkers, but kind of cool, and I know he likes that kind of stuff, and you know we do too. So I've been helping him a little bit with his programming, and we've been looking at all sorts of things. We've done a cardio program for his longer distance running. We've got some strength stuff for the gym to look after the muscles. We've got some just self-care bits, so a plan for sports massage and things like that. And as part of that sort of self-care element, I've also built him an injury prevention program where we're looking at some small exercises you can do anywhere or everywhere, or he can do, but you guys can do them if you want to do some long distance running as well, but that you can do just with a couple of simple pieces of kit. And the plan for him is to do these 3-4 times a week, sort of every other day is useful. They can actually be done on a daily basis. They're so sort of low intensity, so light, that they can be done 5-6 times a week if you want, as a bit of recovery. In fact, they're that light and easy that I've decided to show you them wearing a pair of jeans and jumper. Simon's more than on board with this. He's happy for me to share the stuff that we're doing with him towards his goal in March. So I'll be sharing some other things about the different aspects of training and preparation that we're doing for him. So yeah, I'm going to take you through 10 exercises. The plan is to do just one set on every single exercise. That's how simple they are. And you start with 10 repetitions and build very gradually up to 20 repetitions per exercise. If you can't do them all in one go, you can do half of them in the morning, half of them in the evening. It really doesn't matter. The plan is just frequency, low intensity, just to target some areas that commonly get stressed and are more likely to get injured. If you're looking to up your mileage, you'll starting to look to increase your distance in running in any way, shape or form. So let's do them. First thing to say, as always, by the way, if you have got any injuries, aches or pains, you know not to dive into this stuff without going to speak to a professional. Talk to a physiotherapist. Make sure that you haven't got any injuries that would actually prevent you from doing something. This is about decreasing the risk of injury. It's not about fixing injuries. If you've got one, get checked out. Make sure you're fit and healthy before you start, and they should hopefully help in the process to keep you there. So I've got the exercises here. The first exercise is sort of working from bottom to top, but I'm going to do them so you don't have to sort of line the floor, stand up, line the floor, stand up. So there's a flow to it as well. I'm going to start by focusing on the calf area, but really we're looking at what's called the Achilles tendon. So the Achilles tendon that runs down and attaches to the calf and then underneath the foot. Because all of your body weight goes through into the calf area, the Achilles tendon takes a lot of stress. And when you start to up your mileage and you're just repetitively moving and moving and moving, it can take even more stress. And tendonitis can be a problem when you get that inflammation in it. I know, having talked to Simon, and I know for myself, that we've both suffered from it before. So this is a really good exercise to help keep the calf supple and strong and just look after that Achilles tendon. And it's a very simple calf raise. You just need the lowest stair on some stairs, or a solid step you can use, as long as it's solid and you know it won't move. So I've got this Reebok step here, and I'll place it against the wall. I'm going to place my feet half on, half off. See, I've even got slippers on. That's how easy this workout's going to be. I'm going to sink down to get a bit of a stretch through, so keeping the body nice and tall here, bum's tucked in, abs are tucked in. You know the rules. Head up, shoulders back and down. Hands on for support. We're just going to go quickly up for 1, and then we're going to come down for 1, 2, 3, 4. So really slow. Up for 1, body stays dead straight. Down for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only going to do 10 today. As I said, you can build up to 20 on these exercises over time, but start with 10 reps and just see how they feel. Body's dead straight like a plank of wood. The only movement is from those ankles. We're up for 1 and we're slowly down for 4 seconds. 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more. Up we go. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this slowly lowering down phase that develops the strength in around the tendon, the muscles, the joint. It's known, some of you will know it as the negative phase or the eccentric phase, and it's where a lot of the strength is developed. So we're slowly coming down. 2, 3, 4. Let's do 2 more. Up for 1, pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, get that stretch through. Last one, pause at the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, down. So I said, we're really overemphasising that down phase because I said that's the one that's really going to build the strength in the calf, tendon, and just help to fade off injury. Over time, you could add a small weight to it if you want, but focus on getting those reps up to 20 first. So we work to the partner muscles because you know I talk a lot about what I call my ant and deck rule. If we work one muscle, we try to work the opposite muscle. They all work in pairs, and we want that balance because it's all about balance. So as well as working the calves, we're going to focus on the shins here. Again, nice easy one. You can use the wall for this if you want. If you want to make it harder, you can actually come away from the wall. The challenge here is to stay completely upright, and you're going to pull your toes up towards your shins without any movement from the rest of the body. So you're using those shin muscles to pull the toes up towards the shin and just squeezing them up. Again, for about 10 repetitions to start off with. If you want to really challenge your core, and it's quite hard to not use any hands, you can. So you're pulling those toes up. Really hard for me to do without holding on, to be honest. Squeezing in, I can really feel the shin muscle working here. This one's just 1 or 2 seconds up, and then nice and slow down. It's such a small range of movement that it's not going to take very long to perform. I'm going to go for 3 more. I can really feel those shins working, which is good because I'm about to go for a run after this. Obviously not in this get-up. Up we go, and down. So that's a couple of simple exercises for in and around the ankle area. I'm going to skip the rest of the body. I'm going to go up to the shoulders now because we're going to stay with some standing ones. Again, I know, having spoken to Simon and chatted to him, and I know having ridden bikes with him a lot, that he's fallen off them a lot. So he's had some shoulder issues over time. So we're really just going to work on strengthening and stabilising the shoulder. People are often quite surprised when they go running, especially when they get into the longer distance stuff, how much their shoulders ache. And if you think about the amount of movement the arms are doing, although it's not the same weight bearing as the legs, the arms are still working hard over a long run for a long time. And with Simon's run, with his ultramarathon, he's going to have a rucksack on with water and food, so there's going to be extra stress and pressure on the shoulders. We're going to build up to some other things, but we're going to start with these 2 exercises. The first one, and I'll show you your knee in. You don't need to be, you can stand it. Tuck your bum in, body nice and tall again, and you're going to place your hands, roll up my little elf sleeves, against the wall, so that your arms are pretty much out straight, elbows are a little bit soft, but that the hands touch the wall. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull your hands away from the wall without bending the elbow. You're going to do that by retracting the shoulder blades together at the back. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'll show you from just away from the wall a little bit because there's a bit of a sort of alcove bit that covers it from here. So hands are straight, we don't bend the elbows, we squeeze the middle low shoulder blades together and we pull backwards. So the elbow hasn't bent, that's key number 1, and then we return back to start position. Key number 2 is that when we do it, the neck, the trapezius muscles stay down. So as we're pulling back, we keep the shoulders low rather than letting them hunch upwards. So all that squeeze comes from the middle to low trapezius here. So squeeze the shoulder blades together, elbows don't bend, back to start position. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, pinch them in and back. Nice and controlled, breathe through, and elbows don't bend at all. Again, you should really feel that squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back. But if you start to feel your neck hunch, or you start to feel like you have to bend the elbows, that's enough. Just stop there and just build up the reps over time. So I'm going to go 3 more. Squeeze, and I can really feel that pinching in between the shoulder blades. Breathing through nice and normally. Squeeze and back. And then one last time. And then done. And again, no weight. Hard work. Quite small muscles. We're really focusing on targeting muscles that are going to help with posture, movement, and as I said, just prevent those injuries and aches and pains over time. Next one is for the small muscles in the shoulder, the rotator cuff, that again just help to hold posture, help to hold the shoulder in the socket nice and firmly, make it all stable. As I said, if you've ever fallen off a bicycle, which both Simon and I have, then you can get problems with the shoulder area and for lots of other reasons as well. You can do this exercise with no resistance at all, or you can use one of these little loop bands or one of the other little sort of resistance bands you've got. But you want to start with a fairly light resistance. The movement, and I'll show you without the band first, is to come up nice and tall, standing or kneeling, Elbows come in. If you do it without a band, you can actually do both at the same time. You make sure your elbows glued to the sides of your body, and then you're going to squeeze the arms outwards as far as they comfortably go without the posture changing at all, and then back in. Squeeze them out, and then back in. I'll show you 5 without a weight, and you'll see that the elbow isn't coming away from the body. So it's a rotational exercise. I'm not getting the big shoulder muscle involved, I'm using those deep little rotator cuff muscles. If I want to increase the intensity a bit, use a nice light band like this, hold one end, and I can just keep that elbow glued and just pull as far as feels comfortable out and back in. So I'm going to do 5 on one side, 2 and 3. Again, small movement, only going to go as far as I can without losing technique or posture. There's number 5 on that side. And so I'm nice and even. Let's do 5 on the left. Let's see what I've got. Pretty much about the same. Obviously the less tension you put on it at the holding end, the easier it will become. The lighter the band, the longer the band you use, the easier it will become. Let's do one more. Squeeze, elbow never leaves the side, and back in. Very small movement, again, nice and light. It looks easy. You might find it quite hard to keep that elbow glued in at first. And if you do, get rid of the band, just go with body weight, because even that can be quite a challenge. So that's a couple for the shoulders. Next one in there is core muscles, deep core muscles, the ones that wrap around the spine, hold it nice and stable. If you're on the go for, God, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours when you're running 45 miles, even a marathon, you're on the go for 3, 4, 5 hours, you want your core to be working well, because it just makes you so much more efficient. It stops you wasting energy. It protects the spine with the impact into the floor. So we're going to go through a couple of different core exercises. The first one I've got for him is a classic. Some of you will see me do this a lot. It's called a kneeling Superman. So it's really good for the deep core, but it's also good for the back muscles and the back of the shoulder muscles as well. So you're going to get into an all-fours position, just like a table. Elbows are soft, wrists are right under elbow, which is right under shoulder, knee is right under hip, and you've got that nice, natural, gentle curve in the spine, but you've made yourself a table essentially. And then from there, we're going to try a challenging one. We're going to lift opposite arm and leg, extend it out, and then drop it back in. Body stays nice and still throughout. We swap to the opposite side, and we go again. So we're going to try 10 each side. There's 2, and the body doesn't move, it's just that arm and leg. Head stays nice and still, pulling the belly button in towards the spine to stabilise everything. So that's 3. If you do want to make it a bit tougher, you can take the arm and leg out, you can bring it in, tap, and go away again, same side, tap, and go away again, same side, tap. You can even bring it in, tap the knee to the hand, but keep them in the air. So I'm going to do a couple more on this side. There's a bit of a progression, but again that body should not move. And again I'll swap them around so I'm nice and even. So I can lift, just tap, same side, tap it in, head stays perfectly still, and I'm really engaging that core. And let's just try a few of the harder version for the last 3 or 4 repetitions. Just whichever version feels right for you. Alternating arms and legs, bringing them down each side, is by far and away the easiest one to start with. And it's all about making sure that body stays nice and still. So you've really got to pull that core in. Remember to breathe whilst you're doing it. So that's number 5. We've got 5 more exercises. So there's quite a lot, but because we're only doing one set, we can sort of rifle through them fairly quickly over time. So your next one is for your glutes. In fact, your next 4 or 5 are for the glutes. You'll need one of these little loop bands. Something like the green or yellow ones is a good place to start. And as they get a bit tougher, you can move on to the blues, the reds, the black ones that are much thicker and heavy duty. Again, for demo purposes, I'm going to start with the lightest ones. So pop this on, and I'm going to pop it on so that it's comfortable and it wraps just sort of 2 inches or so, inch or 2 above the knees. So let's get that sorted there. Bit of fatting to be done. And then the first one is for the abductors, the muscles that bring the leg away from the body. So it's a sideline one. You can put a little pillow here or something like that, or you can if I pop the arm under here, you can just pop the arm out so you can rest the head on, and then you've got that nice straight line here. Legs go out nice and straight, and we lift the top leg a couple of inches, and then keeping this hand here for support, we're going to pull the leg back slightly and up for maybe 6 inches to a foot maximum, squeezing back and squeezing the bum as we do. So we should feel the sides and the bum muscles just doing a little squeeze as we come up. So we're going to go 3 and 4. And as I said, you can see this is not a sweaty workout. This is why I can wear jeans and a Christmas jumper. I can do it anytime I like. If I've got a little break between work, or if I've just popped the kids to school and I've got 10 minutes before I start my day, you can really do this anytime you like. You don't have to be fully kitted out. You don't have to be in a gym environment. Just need a couple of pieces of equipment and away you go. Again, you can do this without a band if you want. It's still hard enough if you get that squeeze on there. And then to balance it out, I'll come to the other side for you. Pop that arm out so you've got that nice straight line. Feet on top of each other, hand down for support, lift an inch or two, squeeze back and up. So you're making almost like a little curve, like a mini C. We do that, we squeeze back a little bit to really engage the glute. If we just do that straight up movement, you'll often find that the hip flexor can do more work than we want. So it's just pull back, squeeze up a little bit. I'm going to go up, and I can feel them working. They're small movements, but I can really feel the muscles engaging. I'm going to go 2 more, and then I've got 1 to do, and done. I can feel the burn on those. So that's my abductors. I'm also going to work on really deep muscles in the hips that are sort of like the equivalent of the rotator cuff in the shoulders. They rotate the hips around, they do those twisting, turning movements in there. I keep the band in exactly the same place, and a lot of you will have seen people doing this exercise in the gym. It's called a clam. So you pop yourself down into that sideline position again, but this time you bend the knees, keep the knees on top of each other, and throughout the movement you're going to keep the feet touching, so the feet stay together, hand down for stability if you want, and we lift for 1, just like a clam at the bottom of the ocean. 2, again it's only a small movement till I can feel that glute engage, or rather I can feel those deep muscles engage. So the abductors are helping out on this, but there are some even smaller, deeper muscles in and around the hip joint called the piriformis and a few others that again are commonly problem prone, especially if we up the mileage. And this can just help just strengthen and stabilise everything. Keep the hips and the knees in the right alignment whilst we're running along. And it isn't just the hips that this helps. Like I said, it does definitely help with the knee joint. If the hips are weak, then the knees can start to roll inwards and roll all over the place as we get the mileage up. And it's often the knee that you get the problem with. Up we go, last one. And the last one's done. We're going to do the other side so that everyone's walking around in circles. So again, knees bent, arm out so you've got that head supported, you've got that good posture. Keeping the feet together, we pull up and out, feel a squeeze, and then down we go. That's 2. Again, I've got a really light band here, and I can feel these muscles working really quite hard. Number 4, 6 to go. There we go, Mog's joining in as well. Can't wait. 5. She likes to just check that I've got my technique right. And again, 4 more. Little squeeze. These bands, by the way, really cheap on Amazon. I think they're less than a tenner for a full set. Probably even getting cheaper than that on some of the Prime deals. So well worth investing in for lots of exercises like this. There we go. So that's the abductor ones on there. That's the clams as well. Oh, I've lost my mic. Let's pop that back on there. Make sure it's tucked on. Perfect. So a couple more. We're going to hit the big muscles of the glutes, the gluteus maximus as well. Really important muscles. This other exercise is also quite a good one for just supporting the hamstrings. Just all the bits at the top up here that again we can often get niggles and aches and pains with as we start to take that mileage up. I'm going to keep with a nice light band. You might find that you want to go up a band or so on this, but start light, you can always make it harder over time. So again we go into our all fours position. This time we're going to really focus on keeping the core nice and strong. We're going to lift one knee off the floor an inch. We lift and extend and we push. So we're pushing up to the sole of the foot faces the ceiling, head stays still, body stays still, and we're just using those glutes and those hamstrings to just extend a little bit and push through from there. We're going to do 3 more on this side. Breathing out as we go. Going to do last one, and then I'm swapping them around so we're nice and even, and again I'm going to focus on 10 reps to start with, build up to 20 over time. Nice slow controlled movement. 4 and 5. And you should really feel that glute squeezing at the top, to really tense those bum muscles to make sure that they're the target of the movement. 2 more. 9. And one last time. Number 10. Right, so we've just got a couple of exercises left to do. We're going to focus on the lower back, because again, with all that impact, the lower back takes a lot of stress. Simon in particular has a desk job, like a lot of you do, and so the back is a cause of potential problems anyway, from tightness and weakness in the muscles and around there. So we're going to strengthen up the lower back with a nice easy exercise, and then we're just going to do something for the hip flexors as well after that, because they're going to be working hard over the next few months for it. So your lower back one, nice and easy. Don't need the band, but I'm just going to leave it on because I'm going to use it on the next one. So on this one, a couple of options. I can keep my arms tucked in, almost like a sphinx position, and turn the palms so they face upwards. The only reason I'm turning the palms up is so that the hands don't actually push and turn it into a sort of press up type movement. You can stay that way, but it just means that I can focus on the lower back on it when I do this. If that's too easy, I can have the hands by the side or even by the head from here. I'm going to start with the easy one though. So the focus here is tensing the lower back muscles, and we're going to lift the chest and the head away from the floor, but the head stays looking at the floor and down. We're going to do it 10 times, and I should feel all that work through the lower back here. Nice and slow and controlled. If you feel the glutes taking over, you can turn those toes in, go pigeon toed. Some of you will have seen me doing that before. If you want to make it a bit tougher, remember to breathe on these. Very easy to hold your breath. Nice, slow, controlled movement. And if it starts to get too easy, we can change the hand position. And I'm just going to do 3 more. Head stays down to 8. It's not a huge lift. 6, maybe 8 inches tops. Up we go. And bring them down from there. So that's the low back exercise. And then to finish them off, we're going to hit those hip flexors. It's also a really good one for the core and the balance, this one. So you can do it again, holding onto a wall for stability, or you can do it just stood upright if you really want to engage all the postural and the balance muscles. You keep the band wrapped in exactly the same place as before. We're going to do one leg at a time. We're going to take a leg back, and what we're going to do is almost try a running movement. So we lift and squeeze the hip flexor and back down. As I said, if this is too much, just rest the hands on a wall and do the hip flexor movement for now. The core stuff can come later. I'm going to hold them there. And if you can, you either tap the toe down or you keep it in mid-air, but the body stays nice and still. And you got 5 to go. So really good posture and balance workout. And we're really getting a good squeeze on that hip flexor here. And if it gets too easy, up the band, go through your yellows, your blues, your reds, even up to the purples and the black ones, depending on what set you've got. I'm going to do one more, and then done. And then final one, just to balance them all off. Make sure I've got a nice flat bit of floor. Take that leg back, and we're going to focus on drive it up, back, tap the toe down if you need to. If not, keep it in mid-air. But make sure your body's nice and upright and nice and still. If it's not, tap the toe down, and if it's still not, hold on to that wall and get that stability right first. And it will really pay dividends in the long run, pun very much intended. So we're going to do 3 more. Lift, down, 2 to go, and then 1 more time, squeeze, and relax. By now your glutes might be burning a bit, so always good to get the band off. So that is it. Once you're sort of going through it, and I'm not sat here explaining it with you, you get through those 10 exercises in 10 minutes or less, literally sort of 30 seconds, 40 seconds an exercise. So you'll be able to fly through them quite quickly from those. Remember, key, 3-4 times a week, 1 set, 10 reps build up to 20 over time, and that should be a really good one for just helping to stave off the likelihood of injuries from top to toe when you're up in your running. Thanks very much for your time, guys, and to Simon, I'll be sending this to you shortly. Good luck, and you know you can ask for help as we're going along. I'll be sharing updates on how you're getting on here on Balance. For those of you who are interested in taking on a big challenge or an adventure, make sure to check out the website www.balancehealthandfitness.co.uk. I have in the last week just added a whole new page all about training for big challenges and adventures. Loads of videos, hints, tips, articles on there for you to check out. Cheers, guys!